185. The number of ethnic groups in Auckland City, 38. The percentage of Auckland residents who were not born in New Zealand. Coming up next.
I hope, Beijing brings in gold for me. I've been training bloody hard for it, and I want to do better than what I did in Athens, so there's only one step up from that. Anything can happen, but I'm going to give it everything.
Migrants, Maori, Pakeha, we're all in the same boat, and we all need to defend each other from attacks. And I guess that ties in with everything else in RAM as well. We believe that putting people who are currently oppressed, like the grassroots people in New Zealand who simply aren't benefiting from the sort of corporate politics that Labour and National want, we're just bringing them into the centre of all politics, and that's in every area of politics, whether it'll be in health policy, immigration policy, education. It'll be about putting people first.
Next week.
Mana ki tia mai mātou ngā kai pānui o tēnei o ngā puka kia ke panuku, kia ke tangaroa e, kia poi aha Aotearoa kotahi.
A situation where there are many migrants, it may well be that it is the indigenous people of this country who will provide one of the threads that binds us together.
She interviewed more than 100 women and had more than 600 conversations with other women.
To all Indian women whose work and worship, whose solidarity and sacrifices have in large measure shaped and molded the progress of Indian community in New Zealand.
9,461. The number of businesses in the Central Business District. 78,480. The number of people who work in those businesses. Go by Bike, a big success. Auckland City Council's Go by Bike breakfast was a huge success again this year, with more cyclists, more fun, more great prizes, free food and entertainment. The event, held in Aotea Square, was the biggest so far, with 750 cyclists attending, an increase of 200 on last year's number. This figure exceeded expectations, proving more people see cycling as a healthy and fun alternative way of getting around the city, and providing great motivation for the 2009 event. 2 bicycles were given away, and there were also heaps of spot prizes and goodie bags for all. 2 of the best dressed cyclists received prizes as well. Only 9% of waste generated at the event went to landfill. The rest was either composted or recycled.
I think the main thing is it's a fun event. It's a little bit like sort of running around the bays. It's a whole lot of people get together who may not necessarily bike to work, but it does demonstrate that you can do it. And in the end, it's a beautiful morning, and Tamaki Drive was magnificent, and it's a bit of fun riding up Queen Street. So it's a fun event.
Go by Bike, and it's 11th year out here at Aotea Square. Your thoughts?
The whole concept of this is fantastic. It's basically encouraging people to get out and remain active, and also removing cars from the street, promoting a healthy environment, and just getting people active. So it's a great concept, and hopefully it gets bigger and bigger.
How do you feel personally the city out here, especially the CBD? If you were to train in some part of the CBD out here, how would you rate from the pollution point of view?
I do a lot of training downtown Auckland as it is, so I know how congested it can get, and I know the traffic issues they have. To remove just 1 or 2 cars is going to make a difference. It's when we can remove hundreds of cars, it's going to help in the long run. And Auckland traffic is notorious for being too congested, so we need to do something about it.
Now tell us a bit about your career. I mean, New Zealand's #1 triathlete and world's #4. I mean, like, how did you reach that position?
I've always set goals my whole life, and I've always wanted to be a professional athlete, and it's something I've been working at my whole life, and I never really expected to achieve, winning an Olympic medal at such a young age, and being such a good triathlete. But it's just been a dream come true, and obviously going into the Beijing Olympics, my whole goal now is to win Olympic gold. But it's fantastic to be New Zealand's #1 triathlete, and this is the career I chose and enjoy, so it's a dream come true.
So you see a gold coming from Beijing for New Zealand, definitely.
I hope Beijing brings in gold for me. I've been training bloody hard for it, and I want to do better than what I did in Athens, so there's only one step up from that. Anything can happen, but I'm going to give it everything.
Now, for an uninformed or novice viewer, describe what exactly triathlon means.
Okay, a triathlon is swim, bike, run, three disciplines. There's various triathlons. There's short course, Olympic, which is the Olympic distance, and also Ironman, which can take anywhere between 8 to 12 hours. I do the shorter stuff. It's a lot more intense. It takes about 2 hours to do our sort of races. 1,500 metre swim, 40k bike ride, and 10k run. It's essentially a full-time job for me, and I train 30 to 35 hours a week. But it's a fun social sport. And I encourage people to do it. It's healthy, active, and a good way to get fit.
You say you train so hard. I mean, does it leave any room for any socializing?
As far as my social life at this point in time, it's non-existent. Basically, when you're training that hard and pushing yourself to the limit, you've got no energy to do anything afterwards. So my life pretty much orientates around swimming, biking, running, sleeping and eating. That's essentially what I do, but I guess these sacrifices I'm making now are going to be worth it in the long run.
What's the motivating factor?
Certainly having the Beijing, the Olympics, at the sort of pinnacle of the sport. It's that's definitely what gets me up in the morning. Having a goal like that, I encourage anyone that sort of wants to get active just to set a goal. It doesn't have to be the Olympics, but some small event or event like this or a race. It makes it easier to get up in the morning and focus towards a goal like that. And for me personally, the Olympics, I can get up, I can train that little extra bit harder, I can push myself, and it just makes me a lot more motivated.
Tell us a bit about your training. What's the difference between training at sea level and high altitude?
I like to train at altitude. I base myself in Boulder, Colorado for half the year, and when you're training at altitude, there's a lot less oxygen, so you're putting your body under a lot more stress, and it does give you performance enhancing benefits. And when you're at sea level, a lot more oxygen, you can perform a lot harder, but you don't get the benefits of increased red blood cell, oxygen blood cell, and it just gives me huge advantages there, and that's something I'm going to be using going into the Beijing Olympics.
Now, where to from here after Beijing Olympics?
After the Beijing Olympics, basically I'll sit down, and it's all dependent on the result there. I still enjoy the sport, and I'm certainly going to continue on for a few more years. I think physically I can keep on going for at least 10 more years, but this sport is very demanding on you mentally, and we'll see what happens, but I'm still enjoying the sport, and we'll take it from there.
Like, are you happy with the kind of input that you get from several quarters in order for you to facilitate more exposure or better training equipment, better training infrastructure?
As far as support, I have fantastic support from both my sponsors, Avanti, Contact Energy, Adidas, and MyZone. Financially they help me very well. Support from my federation, Triathlete New Zealand, they're fantastic as well. A lot of healthcare, sports medicine and stuff like that. So I certainly have no excuses as far as things getting in my way towards the Olympics. There's no excuses whatsoever. The support's fantastic. It's a great environment here in New Zealand, and people do everything they can to help you achieve your goals.
56,827. The number of businesses in Auckland City. That's 15% of all New Zealand businesses.